We are live. Welcome to the Smash Masters podcast, hosted by Stefan Eschi and Nick Priest. This is where we dig into the auto body collision repair field and talk quality repair methods and how the industry is always changing. Buckle up, it gon' get bumpy.
All right.
Hi.
What's going on, man?
Not too much. What's going
Not
on
too
with
much?
you? This is where we pretend that we weren't just talking for the last hour.
Yeah, we got to say everything we just said the last 30 minutes over again, huh?
And, Yeah. So I had my first day at the new job today.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It was good. I think I've found a pretty decent place, and I'm excited for what happens. And
Yeah. What's up, Greg?
What's going on, Greg? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you guys in.
What's going on with you, Nick?
Oh man, seeing all these storms coming through. I'm still getting more calls, more estimates for hail jobs.
Nice.
Yeah, a couple little retail, little dents and dings and such. But yeah, I mean, this weather's bringing in lots of hail. It looks like for everybody.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I hope you get lots of hail work. So
yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a good month, hopefully.
Yeah,
and
good.
we got the Kiko stuff coming up. So
it's June already.
Yeah, it's June already. Yeah.
This year is just going by like crazy for me. I don't know about anybody else, but
yeah,
phew. So what is it? We got one more week, and then it will be the week where we're going.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get there, hang out and glue pull and knock down. From what I hear, we're gonna be doing a lot of knocking down. What's up, Nick?
Yeah. Van Hook in the house. What's going on, buddy?
What's up?
Yeah, we're they said there's going to be a full day of just tapping dings down, and so that's going to be fun.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's honestly that's where the real magic is. You can look real cool with that rod pushing, but it's in the knockdown. That's where I feel like the real artistry and the real craft is. So I'm looking forward to the practice. I mean, it's all about practice. So.
Yeah, practice is going to be good. I mean, it's with all these hail jobs and stuff I've got coming through. I feel like I don't need. It's gonna be good though. It's gonna be good.
You have plenty of practice down there.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I'm gonna go to Oklahoma and then knock down a bunch of dents. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it a lot.
No, yeah, it's gonna be great.
All right, so tonight's show is an open Q&A. So anybody, if you have any questions, we're both collision and PDR related, and any questions and those. I mean, anything. Honestly, you can ask us whatever. If we don't know, we just won't answer.
Oh, yo, what's going on, Mr. Bernard?
Good to see you.
I seen you had a birthday come through on the old Facebook, but didn't get to catch it until just a few minutes ago. So, hope that went well for you.
Well, I did not know that.
Yeah.
And I did promise a special guest.
We do have a pretty good guest on today, so.
Yeah. Oh, there's Andy coming in. The guest I brought in, we wanted to do another open Q&A. And So to bring in a guest, it would be somebody that could really, integrate into the open Q&A. So
Hmm.
he started in collision. He's made his way into PDR. And the repairs he's doing just blow my mind. I mean, and not only that, he's really good at capturing them on video and presenting them. He's got quite a following on YouTube, which is really hard.
Yeah.
Believe me, I know. I've tried a few times. I'm still trying. Um, but I mean, we might as well bring him on,
Yeah. There he is.
Mr. Daniel Kraus of
I'm jealous.
Southwest Michigan PDR. Uh, how you doing?
Good. Good to
Good,
be here. Thanks for
good.
having me on.
Yeah, good, good, good. Um, how long were you a body tech before transitioning? That's something I've always I don't think I know.
About 15 years.
15. So yeah, that's
Yep,
as
15 years,
long
and
as
kind
I've
of
been
at
doing
the,
it.
I'd say the 12-year mark, I started doing PDR, and but didn't really fully get into it until last year, really. So, or at least went full time last year. So
Okay,
now that's
okay.
all I do. So,
Yeah.
well,
How did
kind
you
of.
what made you want to pick up some PDR tools?
Um, well, like most body guys, you see PDR guys come in the shop to do some hailstorm blows through, and there's a team of guys that came in and were pushing hail and pretty big, deep stuff, like inch and a half, the bigger real stretch stuff, and they were just killing it, knocking it out like it was nothing, and
Mm,
it blew me away, and I was always kind of into the finesse parts of auto body. I was really into the detailed oriented stuff. So
yep,
they're all the German cars, if that says anything. But
yep.
yeah, so I don't know. I thought, well, maybe I could just get some picks and start playing on my own. And
Hmm.
like a lot of you guys have done, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of guys that have attempted PDR, I bought a Chinese set, like a $300 Chinese set of picks, and just started playing around with that. And but yeah, there was a couple guys that were really nice to me, and they didn't really show me what they were doing, but they talked about it a little bit, and so I got just a little taste of it, and I got really excited. So just started practicing constantly, got myself some better tools, and over the years, started to get better at it. But it did take a long, long time. It was a
Mm.
long road of cracking paint and
Yep.
screwing lots of stuff up. But hey, if you're at the body shop, why not try to, hone your skills? So got into glue pulling really heavily at the body shop, and not many guys were doing that at the time, and was using a Kiko kit and all that nonsense and pulling out really ridiculous stuff I didn't even think was going to be possible to fix with glue. And I don't know. Then I kind of got back into, I would just go back and forth between glue and pushing, and eventually it started to kind of make sense. So
Yeah.
I never did any training. It was really just all trial and error, which is for you guys getting into it, that's a tough road. That is a tough way to do things.
Yeah.
I would recommend, honestly, I would recommend training at this point in hindsight to go back and do it again. It was just a lot of wasted time and energy that I spent, and frustration, just not knowing what you're doing. But it also builds you. So I can't say that I regret it 100%.
I
So
I wanna
that as you
second
will.
that the training is a great route for sure. And I mean to give them shout outs. I mean I'm wearing my real world PDR shirt tonight. The Respect the Crowns. Did that for a long time and really wanted to speed up the process. So I contacted David White, CT Dent Works, and got 2 weeks of training from him. And I can really say that it makes an immense difference. I'm sure you can learn without it. I think both of you I'm pointing the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Both of you have. But it's I feel like it really sped up the process because when I walked into David's versus when I walked out, huge difference. 2 weeks, just 2 weeks. So
Yeah, I think the main thing
Yeah,
is you,
absolutely.
you really don't know what to expect really if you haven't got some sort of training. Like I don't know how to explain it really. You're like you know what the panel should look like and then your expectations. So you can kind of go back and say, have did I really do a good job or I don't know if I could have maybe did something that was better. So you get a lot of tool time, a lot of uh, ways that the metal moves, and especially you learn to fix mistakes and stuff. But yeah, training would be good.
yeah, no, for
I think
sure.
the hardest thing, honestly, on your own, even if you can see the dent really well and your pushing technique is really good and you have all sorts of different, really good techniques, it's really for me the toughest part is, that last 5% of the repair,
Hmm.
going the extra mile with the blending hammer. That is tough. I mean,
Hmm.
because you're afraid to make more dents in the
Hmm.
panel, but at the same time, it doesn't look right, and you have to level that out. So that took a long, long time of, um, setting the light way back and getting your body positioned correctly so that you can see everything, getting your face right down flat to that panel.
Yeah, I'm working on
Um,
all that.
it makes it, yeah, it's just that's the toughest thing, I think, for
Hmm.
me, anyways. Not having any training, I was like, what is this blending thing? I just do
Oh,
not get
Mhm.
it.
so
Like I'm pushing all day long, and then it's like it looks all ripply at the end. Yeah, it's so frustrating.
I've
So
watched
yeah, that part for
blending
training would have been
videos.
great.
Yeah, I've watched blending videos and I've gotten the training and still what you described is what I'm working on. Literally. It's because I mean it doesn't the training is only so good. Then you have to get out of there and still go, and like
Right.
I have a lot of support and a lot of people I can ask for help and I have and they've always gone above and beyond. Um, but yeah, that's tough. Those subtle
That's pretty scary especially when you
highs
start
that you
working on customers'
create.
cars.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's
Yes.
nerve-wracking.
it's bad. You think you got the dent good, man. You go out there and you're like, yeah, it looks good. And then on your way home, you're like, did it really look good though? Did it really?
Yeah. Right. No, yeah,
And
no.
you want to turn around and go back and just give it that one
Yeah,
more
like
look, you
like
know?
it
Yeah. Oh, I've
let
done
me
this so
tap it
many
a few more
times.
times.
Oh man, guys, there's so many videos that I've done where at the end of the video, I'm like, I can still see it in my video. Like I
Yeah, me
can't see
too.
it with my eyes, but I can see it in the video.
The video
And so
makes it
that would
easier to
drive me
see.
nuts. Yep.
Yeah.
And so then I bring the car back in and keep working on it and then bring it back out. I've done that so many
I've
times.
I've done
Pull it
that a
Wow.
out.
few
I did it
times
on that
myself.
Porsche, pulled that outside and just look it over, and that
Oh,
Porsche Andy's talking about. I pulled that outside, looked at it. I'm like, it looks okay out here, but pull it back inside, keep going on it, keep going on it. You always want to see it in the natural light. You want to see it with your lights. You want to see it with the line board. Everything is going to help, but
Hmm.
especially on a
yeah.
big, nasty one like that. But thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. That was nice.
Speaking of that Porsche, I have it was full screen. Now it's not. It's full screen on your personal page. There it is. Okay. So, I would like to share that video
Yeah,
of
Jason, we're working on that for sure.
I'm sorry I didn't read it. You know the concern and passion you guys have. Yeah.
I think it's coming that way. I really do. I think the techs that really want to do well, obviously you have to go that extra mile, and that's the hardest thing if you're at a body shop, especially, and they're all
Yes.
concerned about your cycle times, and they don't really give a crap, what it looks like. They just want that They just want that in and out. And that's a tough thing for the auto body community. But I think we're getting there with glue pulling and everything else. I think it's really coming a long ways from what it was even 10 years ago with technicians. So
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Well, this is the Porsche in question. Can
man,
you hear that?
Right.
I love that color.
It was a neat color.
I mean, you can not like
Anything
it.
worth
It's okay.
saving.
You're not gonna hurt my feelings. But yeah, I mean, I saw this part of this video and I went, "No freaking way, Dan. No freaking way." Like,
Yeah,
if this video
my
is
head
out,
was
it must
spinning
have
a
come
few
out.
times on that one. Yeah, so a lot of this video, I actually had a ton of content on this one, and I did not show very much of really what I did, how I initially did get most of that damage up. You see me using the cold glue here in a second to get, some of it up, but I had all sorts of contraptions coming from the ceiling, pulling up, initially trying to get that initial damage unlocked, and that was the tightest damage I think I've ever tried to repair with PDR, and it was pinched up there, and because I think it was a telephone pole that came down and landed on it, and so there was one real sharp crease, and it had folded that body line in there so hard that I had my pulling contraption set up, pulling straight up, and it was lifting the car, and so I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get this, but I ended up using just a lot of blending, getting it to finally relax, and then use the cold glue to get it up there. But yeah, there was a lot more to it than that. It was about, I think, 38 hours is what I had into that fender. So way too much time. But so the toughest thing about this, I guess I'll share real quick, is as a high-strength steel fender, I actually would have rather it been aluminum. The issue with it was with the high-strength steel, once it wanted to stretch pretty easily. So when I got it kind of up where I wanted it and I started blending, I'd blend one area and another area would move. So it's the craziest thing. Like with aluminum not having as nearly as much memory as steel, it would have stayed there as I'm tapping it. But with that particular steel, for whatever reason, I'd blend one area, the next area would move up. And I'd blend that area, another area would move up. So it was a constant battle going back and forth until I finally got it leveled enough to where I was like, okay, I'm happy with it. And then there was dents all down the side of this thing I didn't show too. It was in a tornado. So
fucking Greg. I like this. This is to me, this is perfect music for it.
Yeah, I kind of like the more relaxing music, especially in a longer video. I mean, plus, Gregory, there's only so much music that I can choose, and I didn't want to spend 3 hours deciding what song to pick, so I just piano it is. It's nice soft piano. This is what I'm going with. So
just taking that bumper off isn't easy.
No, that's an interesting bumper.
I've done quite a few.
Integrated and
you got to take the spoiler apart.
They're kind of odd.
Yeah.
The taillights, I didn't show that either, using the old tape trick. Pull those taillights out because there's just one bolt and then they're press fit in. So I just put tape on one end, tape on the other end.
It's a Beetle.
I used Tessa tape, and then gave her the old tug and
pops right out. Well, that's impressive.
Yeah, that thing come out nice.
Oh yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. That was not the most difficult one I've done, but it was up there, to be sure. It was definitely up there.
Yeah.
But
with filming too. I mean, how long did it take you around about? You ain't got to, guesstimation wise.
With the filming as well, well, it was I had the car for 3 days.
Hmm.
So, but I don't work normal days. I worked, I think they were 3 16-hour days, um, getting that thing 100%. So, yeah, it was a lot. Probably, I mean, it was, yeah, probably 40 hours, 40
Hmm.
hours total into everything. So, but
Yeah.
not a bad work week, really. I mean, just
Yeah.
kind of depends on who you are. I mean,
Yeah.
Bryce Kelly would be, why are you spending that much time for? But
No.
No, I don't think so at all.
No.
yeah, it takes me a long time. I mean, I'm very, very anal about this stuff and very particular. And you have to be if you're doing repairs like that and you want your work to really stand out, you know. And that car only had 2,000 miles on it. I wasn't about to hack it up. I actually told the guy, I'll attempt it. If it looks like I'm not getting anywhere with it, just take the car to a body shop and I won't charge you a dime. So
Right.
that was kind of how that came about. And he actually, there's a Porsche club up in Grand Rapids that had recommended me as well. And so he felt confident that I could do the repair. So I think he
Hmm.
was more confident than I was. So,
Porsche clubs.
but
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Porsche
there's a
clubs.
couple of good ones for sure. Um, but most of the time they just want little dings, not, a whole fender that's smashed,
Fine.
fixed up. So
I'm good
Yeah.
with that.
yeah, yeah,
At this
absolutely.
point,
Me
I'm good
too.
with that. uh,
Yep, absolutely.
all right.
But yeah,
Well, the we're about to attend some Kiko training. Did you ever get a Kiko training in person?
I did have n no. So Danny Hacker came to our shop,
Okay.
and he actually got me pretty fired up about glue pulling. I think I've shared that before.
Yep.
Um, and so him and I had kind of chatted with him a little bit on social media. I was following him on social media, and I had just come back to this shop, and I had gone to a different shop where they were using Kiko, or actually nobody was using it. It was literally all dusty, sitting in a corner, and none of the techs wanted anything to do with it. And so
Yeah, of
I started
course.
playing around with it at that shop. Then I came to this shop, the the last shop, and I was like, talked to the owner. I was like, have you heard of Kiko? Like, have you heard of any of this glue pulling tech? And they had no idea what I was talking about. And so I started showing him videos, and I actually showed him some of Danny Hacker's videos, some of his first videos he had made.
Mm.
And the owner of the body shop was like, "Yeah, let's." And he pulled the plug. I mean, I think he got 6 full kits.
Wow.
So
Whoa.
So yeah, Danny Hacker came out, and as he was coming out from Oklahoma, I messaged him on Facebook and said, "Hey, are you going to be the guy that's coming out here?" I was really hoping it was, and just because I thought it'd be neat to see a guy on social media come to the shop,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was cool, and that was cool, and he did. He showed up, and he did a great training on actual cars that we were fixing in the shop, and
Cool.
really impressed all the technicians for sure. So that was pretty neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Glue
But
pulling
yep,
is impressive in general. I mean, if once you get the steps right, man, you can really create some nice work with it.
yeah,
Abs-
and I
yeah.
was already using it. I had been using it for quite some time, and so I kind of had figured out. Well, I watched the videos, and figured it out how it works with the heat and all the adhesion promoter and all that nonsense. And yeah, I did. I just, yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, I don't know where I was going. My mind went blank.
no, it changes your life. Just changing that whole method and the way of looking at the damage and reducing damage, not just going straight to, okay, I gotta sand this big of a spot. It's like, you know,
Yep.
straight out the bat.
Yeah.
It's yeah, changed my life. I know I've said it before, but yeah.
Yep. And now years later, I go into that shop and all the guys are glue pulling. They're not using too many stud welders. They have one stud welder called it's not really a stud welder, it's a stand liner. Or not the stand liner, it's a actually, yeah, I think it is called a stand liner.
Hey, there he is.
But it's basically puts little tacks and it's kind of like the wiggle wire setup.
Yeah.
But it would never arc hard enough to blow holes. So
Okay.
it would work really well. The keys, have you seen those? The keys that you weld
Yeah.
on and you
Yep.
put that setup, and that works pretty well.
Yep.
If you're not trying to really create too much damage outside of glue pulling. I mean, there are some things you can't glue pull. It's too pinched up or it just doesn't work.
Mhm.
Speed liner. That sounds right.
Speedliner,
But
it's or the flatliner is another one.
flatliner. That's what it is.
Flatliner.
The flatliner.
The
Yeah.
Too many
VTEC
liners.
flatliner
Yeah.
system.
It's
Stand
actually
liner. I'm thinking PDR.
Yeah.
there's a flatliner kit
Flatliner. That's what
right
it is.
right next to my cart in my new job. So I was thinking about
Yeah. Have you used
playing
it?
with
Have
that.
you used it yet?
Not that one. I mean, today was my first day, but I've used
Right.
other key systems. I don't know if they were the first or not, or who copied who, or yada yada. But Star out of Japan made the Miracle system, and that used keys and had similar bridge tools and everything. So that's the system I learned on, the keys on, and I really like the keys because you can choose how spaced out they are, how many you put, and which way you put them. You can put them on a curve and then bend them any way you want, run a rod through them. They're great. I mean, we never used wiggle wire. I didn't even know what wiggle wire was. 'Cause
I
we
used
had
the wiggle
that.
wire
Oh, really?
for a
Okay.
brief moment, but if it was too much, I always used keys.
Hmm.
Keys
Yeah.
are just a regular stud
And
puller action.
wiggle wire does work well. It's nice and fast. So I mean,
Yeah.
since then I integrated it into the traditional work. But glue pulling, honestly, I mean, it does depend where it is. I mean, when the metal's so pinched up, I mean, it just if you can't open that back up, I have real troubles in that sense. But I can usually open that up and then do the rest with glue because the glue sticks to bare metal anyway. So I mean, it's the less amount that you're using the dent puller, the better in my mind. I mean, maybe I just have more to learn, and that's fine. If there's more to learn on that, I mean, I'm going to a 5-day glue pulling course. I hope to
And I'm sure there's going to be something that you'll learn for sure. So
that's the one.
you're always learning in this industry. It
Oh
never
yeah.
stops. Everything's always changing. That's what I think is fun about it. It keeps it interesting for me, anyways. You're not doing the same exact thing every day. You're not in a factory just packing stuff up. Every
Right.
day it's a different thing. And with dents or auto body, I mean, or with any sort of collision work, whatever you're doing, you're always going to be doing different stuff. So it keeps it interesting and it makes it fun. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you like really challenging stuff, yeah, it's fun.
Right. Which
Yeah.
I do. I think that's the kind of
Yeah,
person the
obviously,
collision
yeah, we
industry
all do,
attracts.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
any you leave every job learning and gathering new information that you didn't have, whether it's good or bad, you still get to take it and put it under your belt. So that's always a plus.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, learning the trade can be aggravating.
Difficult.
Daunting.
Just
Absolutely.
it's horrible, and for a long time too. It's not like a short period. But
No, absolutely.
what is nice is that since I went through that and I've gotten through it and I'm seeing the benefits of this career, as I learn PDR. It's aggravating, but less so because I know that it's just the process, you know? So it's not me being mad at myself because why can't I learn this? Why can't I do this? You know, they all do it. Why can't I do this? You know, that was learning auto body,
Yeah.
and PDR. It's like it just takes time. So you just got to work on it, and it's
You
made
have
it
to work really hard, lots of patience.
it's made it
You have to
mentally
have a
easier to
lot of
learn.
patience.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
For sure. So yeah, it's that's and you know even somewhat in glue pulling as well. You just what was that fly right on
That was
your
a fly.
camera?
Yeah, a fly.
It's perfect timing.
It's hot in here. It's
Oh,
it's really sticky in here.
oh, jeez.
Flies buzzing all over the place.
Well, you got a nice background, so it's worth it. It's for the social medias, right?
Mhm.
It is. That was a lot
Um,
of work just for making videos.
But I mean, I'd also stress that I mean, there's some learning curve with glue pulling as well, and I think that's why a lot of people give up on the glue pulling right away because you know, maybe they try it once, okay, maybe twice, maybe three times, still having issues, still feel like they're wasting time. Screw this, you
They're
know?
worried about that cycle time.
Right.
Yeah.
They're
I
Yeah.
worried
mean,
about that in and out. I get it.
which
I was there
yeah,
too.
and it can affect what you're making, you know. So it's
Mhm.
I totally get it.
That's a
I
tough thing because, yeah,
it
you're already working hard, and then you almost have to work twice as hard on the body jobs to be able to make up for a PDR job. At least that was my experience. So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Case
Awesome,
says
man.
can't teach an old dog new tricks.
That's great,
Yeah.
buddy. I'm
Some
on
of
a
that
podcast.
stuff is even hard for me,
Keep the door shut. Thank you.
keeping learning a new or different way to do something because like he said cycle times it's not it's cycle times and keeping up with life outside of body work and then you're like man got to add this one more thing but once you get it 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 takes what you could do and turns it just makes big smash repairs so much easier than what they used to be
Hmm.
and now we can do pre-pulls if you were in collision. You could do pre-pulls with glue pull now on a lot of panels to where, the eye bolt, you just stick an eye bolt, the big wash on the back and pull it out. Um,
Yep.
yeah, it makes it easier in a
It just
sense after you get over the learning curve.
you just have to get past that learning curve. You got to
Hmm.
get past that point, and not only learning how to make it stick, but learning where. I mean, tab placement is a big thing, and
Where to
tab.
knock down to release the pressure. That's a
I
Hmm.
huge
wasn't
thing.
even going to mention that, and it is a huge thing. And
Yeah.
tab choice. You know, I mean, we've Nick mentioned to me that he keeps seeing people using the large aluminum Kiko tabs in ways that they just weren't meant to be used. I mean, if you gotta remember the center of the tab, the thick part that sticks up, that's the pulling force. So, I mean, if it's a thin spot, then that's where it's pulling, is in that little spot, you know, from the
Hmm.
stem or whatever. If it has a brace, it's going to pull up on that brace. But those large Kiko, where it's like that thick, and then the rest of the foot is like that much bigger, but it's really thin.
Hmm.
I mean, that's just for adhesion.
Yep. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of
Yep.
people just stick that whole tab in a dent, you know, caved in spot and try to pull it out. And while it might work, it's not really targeting the correct way to it, I guess you could say. So, yeah, I've
You
been
guys,
seeing.
you guys tried to use crease tabs on larger hail dents yet? Haven't
Mm,
Which
tried that yet?
which crease
Try it.
tabs?
which ones?
Any of them. Use the thin ice crease tabs. So like
Instead of a
the
round.
Kiko. Yep. If you want to be,
I can't remember which podcast it was, but some podcast
this isn't
somebody
it.
was talking about how every dent has a crease in it. Okay.
Yeah, I've used those on some hail damage. I haven't. It's not my first go to, but if I get a real stubborn dent, that you put just a dead center tab or something on it doesn't want to give, then I will grab one of those and
Yeah.
usually
If you're
releases a
having
lot of
trouble,
the damage.
yeah, if you're having trouble getting that very last little bit of that center up, try using a crease tab and then put it on this way, do your pull, then turn it around this way and do your pull, and that center will be up, and then you just
Interesting.
knock it down. It goes. There's a whole kind of. I've been doing it for a while now, and on bigger hail dents, actually, for me, it's worked really, really well.
So
Get it
make
up
an X
quick,
pattern.
knock it down. Yep, make an X pattern with your tab, and then you don't need to put the glue all the way to the end. Just right from here to here, from here to here.
Okay.
Set it down. Same thing. Try it. Try it
So
with ice tabs. The Kiko ice tabs. They work really good.
that
Yeah, that might help you if you're having trouble getting your center up.
that
Because that was
lines up.
always my issue with glue pulling. Because I'm like, if I use the round tab and I'm now dead center,
It doesn't pull the
I'll
center.
get it up and then it's gonna pinch. It's gonna pinch left or right if I'm not dead center.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to get it 100% dead center all the time. And this kind of eliminates that because you can just see it better. I don't know. For me, anyways, you can see what's going on better when you make her pull. But maybe
I've
that
had
helps you. Maybe it doesn't.
I've had little pits that I've gotten up with the Dent Reaper crease tabs. So now that I think about it, and that was a tip I got from Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
So yep.
Those tabs are beefy. Those are, yeah,
Love
those are some wicked tabs right there.
Love them, love them. I've only broken
I
two.
love those tabs too. I haven't broken any of them yet. I've
Yeah,
had them for
that's
quite a
what I
while.
used to say.
Yeah.
That's what I used to say. But yeah,
I'm not
no,
trying to pull crazy stuff out with them though. They're precious. I don't
I'm
want to
doing
break them.
little dents. They just go blink.
They all
One day
break eventually.
they go
Wow, that's
blink.
crazy.
Yeah, it'll happen to you.
Yeah, maybe I just haven't used them enough.
So yeah, let's do Andrew's question here. I've got some hammers and lights. What else would a fella need to get started? I'd say
Oh man,
some rods. I mean,
I'll
what are
tell
we
you what.
starting here?
What if you're starting PDR or if you're starting? He says he's got hammers and lights, so I'm assuming it's PDR. So
Or at least GPR.
yeah, get started in the right direction. What would you recommend, Daniel?
Sorry.
Right here. This is a triple bend, 3/8 from Dentcraft. This tool right here, make sure you get a bunch of the R4 cherry tips.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you're just starting out PDR, I would just use all plastic and all whatever this is, some sort of plastic. When you're pushing, don't use a metal. Do not push with a metal tip. Not at first. So
Kind of get
that's
used
what
to it.
that's what I recommend everybody if you're just starting PDR, because this is what I wish someone would have told me.
Yep.
Don't just start with sharp picks.
Yeah.
You're going to be so frustrated.
Same here.
So all you really need is something like this. A triple bend. This is Dentcraft, but I know A1, Anson. I mean, you can get these anywhere. And then I've got the Anson, or the what do they call that?
It's the hub.
Yeah, the tequila hub
hub.
system.
Yeah. So I've got the Tequila Hub tools. But yeah, so that, and then I use this 1/2-inch one all the time, and it's the same thing, basically just in a 1/2 inch.
Hmm.
And yep, just get the 5/16 tips,
Yep.
Start playing with those first. Yeah, that's really all you need. If you already got hammers and lights, get a couple of these and maybe like one whale tail, just a normal, regular old size whale tail, maybe like a 1 inch.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised. You could fix a lot of dents with just that. And then
Do you have a whale tail
also-
handy?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. For people that may not know
Which
what
one
a
do you
whale
want to see?
for people that may not know what a whale tail is.
He'll show you all his tools.
I mean, they're back there displayed. Why not show somebody some stuff?
Yeah, they might as well. Yeah.
While he's grabbing something, I'll add in that I suggest that if you're trying to learn PDR, head over to Real World PDR. You don't have to do the $65 a month right away. He has a PDR 101 course, so you can just dip your toes in. And I learned a lot in that 101 course, and it was enough to get me to do his full course. So
There's a
there's
lot
my
of knowledge on
There's-
there
it
for
really
cheap.
is. And
I
I
mean,
like
that
how
is
he
a
has that
steal,
101
what he's
course.
giving away.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Jim Mitchell's great. I think what he's doing with Real World PDR is absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
got a
to
lot
give
of
that
good
price
YouTube
to
videos.
people online. Oh yeah.
That
Yep, and
too.
the stuff he just does for free. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can go check out his YouTube without even paying. So, yeah.
Here's-
So
there's a
that's a
whale
whale
tail.
tail. Yep.
So these are tequila whale tails. And then this is one like from Dentcraft. You can get them with the handle too. This is probably my most used whale tail. And
Mm,
yeah, don't be afraid to bend the crap out of these things
mm.
because you're going to have to
Yeah.
bend the crap. I mean, you can bend them right back. So, I mean,
Yep.
they're not going to bend this direction. They're just going to bend this direction. So you can sneak them into all sorts of nooks and crannies.
And that's the secret
So
right
whale
there.
tail like that, and then a nice little small one for real tight access. This one is really nice too. These are Dentcraft. So
Dent crabs.
yeah,
got a lot of
I'm
good
not
stuff.
like super partial to one tool company or another. I use all of them. I mean, everything's at your disposal. So why not try out? If you're doing full-time PDR, just try about a bunch of stuff out. See what you like and go from there.
Yep.
And the stuff has a good resale value. So if you don't like it, you can always resell it. But yeah, can't go wrong with Dentcraft, Anson, A1 tools. I
You
mean,
can
those are all my main ones.
You can get
And then
all that
I
at
have
Anson pretty
some
much.
random stuff from Metal Medic, but
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, you can get it all from Anson.
Yep. I mean,
But
yeah.
which I know A1 has some pretty cool stuff, some Dent Slayer stuff I need to get. Yeah, but
Yeah, Anson's got the mobile app too. If you order something off their app, you get that glue of the month. So
Yeah, that's how I got most of my glue
Yep.
that's in my drawer.
and that's beneficial to people like me that not really wanting to spend them. Well, we build up glue and stuff, but that extra glue is just like a freaking nice bonus, and you get to try out new stuff, new glues that you ordinarily wouldn't go purchase.
Right.
And some of it's been
Yep.
really, really good.
Plus, they
Mhm.
throw like stickers in there.
stickers. I
Tons
love
of
their stickers.
Stickers
Lots
and
of
tabs.
stickers.
Tabs
Yeah,
too, man.
Tabs
Also,
too. Yep. Some of which I
It's probably
use
stupid looking, but you can see what I did with all my stickers.
very often. That's cool. I like that. What is that?
Didn't have anything else to do with them.
What is that?
As a
step
light I
stool?
made,
Oh, a light.
PDR light,
Oh,
Yep.
Oh, I see the lines now. Yeah.
line board.
I saw
Yep.
the lines, but I'm like, what is it? A
It's
reflection?
a lighted
board?
line board. I made a video on this a while back, but it's all
I'm sorry.
I made this sucker from scratch, and there's 12 different LEDs
Cool.
in it, so you turn it on with a remote, and you can change it to whatever color or whatever dim, or I mean, it's kind of stupid, but it works.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah, that's
and it was
right.
cheap.
You like making
but-
tools and stuff. You've made a few
Yeah, I
tools
do.
huh?
I like making. Sometimes
sometimes.
I'm bored.
Yeah.
For yourself though.
or if I need it, you know.
Yeah.
You're right.
Just
I
for
need a
myself.
tool. I'm just gonna make it.
Yeah,
you know?
everybody needs a
Well,
good tool.
that's usually the only reason. That's the only reason why I've made anything is because I needed to use it. Like not just making stuff for fun. It might seem like it, but
Collision guys always making tools though, coming up with something.
absolutely.
Be-
So
Yeah.
The only other tool I'd say that is pretty key with PDR is like some kind of door tool. I mean, we got
Like a brace.
the double bend, the whale tail, and like a good kick, like a door lord.
yeah.
So I'll show you what I use downdoors.
And then we'll talk about Daniel's tools.
So this is probably my most used door tool
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
here. This is a stand liner. I don't remember what they called it. I'm sorry, but you can look it up. It's probably out of stock. Like most of their stuff is. But so I use that one, and then I use this one. And believe it or not, rather than go down through the window, a lot of the times I'll either, if it's rear door, I use wiring hole for the rear door, always, instead of pushing on glass. If I can access it. And the other area is if they have them, doors that have the little grommet hole where you take the door handle out. This tool, you can fish it down in there and it will reach, as long as there's not a huge brace in there, it will reach the whole top of that door pretty much. And and you basically can get leverage off of something inside the door and you can push on that outer skin. And they take some practice, but they leave some really nice textured results, like really nice, no tap down work. So these are my go-to, bracing tools. And then I also have this one. And this was just a real long flag tool that I modified. So I bent it. I know you're not supposed to bend these, but I did anyways.
Well, you can do it once. You just can't bend
Yeah,
it
you
back.
can only do it once. Yeah, you better like where you bend it because it's not coming back.
Right.
But yeah, this is kind of an interesting tool. I use this most of the time I push here.
Yeah.
So I'm grabbing leverage. And it's got to be like a weird spot. I think that's why I made that, or why I bent it this way, is I had one car that was like, couldn't get in there. So I had to bend it all up. But I still use this quite a bit. It does come in really handy in really weird spots, or sneak it under a brace really far. And then I use the brace as leverage. So it's holding the end. And then I push with that right there.
Mm-hmm.
So
gives you a nice wide
it just
push.
gives you a lot. Yeah, nice wide push. And so I don't generally ever push actually with the tip of this one. But anyways, those are good. Here's one I made. So I wasn't going to show this, but I suppose I will. This is made out of high carbon steel.
Okay.
And it's stainless. Very expensive, I found out. These rods are to buy. And it's a 1/2 inch. And then this is 3/4 inch stainless stock that I've bent and then welded it. I like the curved handle.
Okay.
No, I haven't seen too many guys with curved handles, but the curved handle is really comfortable, and you can actually really grab on that, and you can twist, because normally if you have a handle that's just straight, you can only twist so far, and your hand can only go so far. With this thing, it gives you a little extra, so you can get that extra twist.
I like it.
And it's a 1/2 inch, so it's super, super solid. This is probably my most used pushing tip right there.
Okay.
Yeah, those are nice.
It's just a plastic. Great on body lines. if you're worried about cracking the paint, then you can still use heat and it's not going to mush the end up.
Okay.
Super, super hard plastic. You can crack the paint, obviously, you can crack the paint with anything, but
Yeah.
much harder to do with a plastic. The only thing is, when you're using plastic, you want to be able to have your hand on that so it doesn't slip.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing with pushing with plastic. The R4s with the cherry, they're going to hold right to the panel because they've got that rubber.
That kind of grips.
Whatever it's in there.
Right.
Yeah, it grips to it.
Yeah.
But that can be a really bad thing too. If you're pushing on a body line, on a fender, or on a weak spot, you could push too hard and bow that whole thing out. So
Right.
it's good to use sharp tools on body lines, obviously. But if
Mhm.
you want to use a sharp tool and not crack the paint, use plastic tips. Or
Or phenolic.
And here's another one. Here's another copycat. So
That's
I
not
think
a
you can
stand
see
liner?
what this one. No, this is I made this one. And this will be, maybe Jim Mitchell will be. Maybe he's not here. I don't know if you can see that.
Real world PDR. There you go.
Nice.
There you go. So I engraved it all and
Cool.
made it all fancy, polished it all up. But I was going to give this to Jim to try out, but I bent it, so I can't give it to him. So I've got to make another one, and I have to heat treat it, and then he'll get one. But so that's it for that stuff. Did you want me to show something else?
Yeah, you can show.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. All right. We'll just show you this weird contraption here. So, a lot of you guys probably use the B&D pliers, fender pliers, or edge pliers. This kind of works the same way. It just gives you a longer reach. And what I've done for you body guys is I have just hacked the end off
body
of a vice
guys.
grip. Us body guys. Yeah, all us body guys.
Yeah.
Well, I just mean I don't work at a body shop anymore, but still a
I
body guy.
know.
So you're right. But anyways, you can take these vice grips and weld the 5/16 nut on the end here, like I did, and then you can put all your pushing tips on there. This is really nice for an area like on a motorcycle fender or an area where you can't get any leverage to push up on it. Or if the area where you want to get leverage is just going to bow, that happens all the time too. You don't want that to happen. You need to have some B&D pliers or something like this that you can just make yourself. I mean, think this thing cost me like $50. Saw this thing at Menards, but there's a whole YouTube video on it on my YouTube channel, Southwest Michigan PDR. So, and I show you exactly how to make it. Show you exactly what I get, and cut it up, and I show you the whole process. So I know a lot of people have probably made their own, but that's how I did it, just using some basically vice grips, channel locks, whatever works, and you can adjust it, and the feet rest on the top of the panel, and then you're basically pushing with the bottom up. So works really nice in tighter areas and areas that you're worried you're going to blow it out. And then I made some big monster ones. So these are the same thing, only this thing can reach way down into a door. And not that you're ever really gonna, I don't know. Motorcycle tanks, really good. You can get lots and lots of leverage on a motorcycle tank without really even strapping the tank down. You just stick this sucker in there and push it out.
Just go away.
That's nice too. You don't have to strap anything down, and it's just a lot quicker. Just grab it, stick it in there, start pushing. So that was the idea behind that. And then also on my YouTube channel, I make just some simple little tips out of spoons, kitchen spoons that I had
Cool.
just in the kitchen. So I use these most on bumpers. So plastic bumpers,
Yeah.
these big ones I can show you here. So I put them for 5/16. I can put them on any 5/16 rod that I want,
Mm,
and I've got a set screw there,
Yep,
or set
yep.
nut,
So you can
so
get
you
it
can put
exactly
it
where you
in
want it.
exactly where you want it,
Yep.
and then you can use this just as a nice rolling technique or dragging technique, pushing technique. I mean, whatever you want to do, this thing will
Have you
do it
tried it on
on
metal?
plastic bumpers. Yeah, yeah, I use it on creases. Actually, one of my videos I just did at the end of last week was a uh what color was that? That was a Toyota R or a Lexus RX 350, and it had about an 18-inch deep crease
I
down the
think I
fender.
saw that one. Yeah,
yep, yep.
I saw that one.
Very tough. Man, creases
And
are
you
tough.
use that to finish, kind of work the
No.
with it.
So I use this initially to get everything up as clean as possible.
Mm,
And then I went through and I had this taped. So I taped this up. But I'm not pushing.
yeah,
I
you're
don't ever
rolling.
I don't ever push with this. I'm either rolling, or if I can get the right direction, I'm gonna push and pull, or push and drag, or I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot of dinking around with big creases, but it
Yep.
does work pretty good, and it kind of irons it out, and you're not stabbing it, so it comes out smoother. You're not going to
Yeah.
put a bunch of poke marks in it, or not as many. And yeah, so those are just some simple things you can use for just household stuff. Make your own tips and things like that. And I have a few that I also wrap leather on for pushing tips, for pushing on metal too, which works really good. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah.
So you cut up a couple of your wife's spoons. How many days do you sleep out there?
Oh man, she didn't even know because she doesn't watch any of my content. So
Did you tell her you're going live tonight? I hope not.
I did. She went to baseball games, and I stayed
Mm,
here tonight. So
mm.
Nice.
yep. So I didn't have to go do that tonight, which is fine. But
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
So Andrew wants to know, do you think that glue has significantly changed the way shops approach structural repairs to unibody vehicles? Well, it's glue's mainly still in cosmetic panels and things. So, we don't really pull
Yeah.
on structural much with that.
Yeah. I mean, you might. I've done pre-pulls with glue, but it's only in
Do you mean
certain.
like on body panels or
Yeah,
Uh,
frame rails? Because like,
nah. Well, he's unibody. I'm sure he's probably elaborating to like a rear body, kind of like what I was talking about earlier about
right,
putting the eye bolt in and just kind of pulling out something like that.
right.
I'm gonna say that's more what we're
So
talking about.
I mean, I would answer. I would say no. But if you're talking about anything that's welded on the vehicle is the structure, which technically it is. That would include an outer skin on a quarter. Sure. But I mean, in most body shops, you talk structural. We're talking inners, and then the high strength steel and stuff. Um, no, I don't. I don't think that the glue is doing too much there. And in the areas where glue is strong enough to really do a pre-pull, usually there's a faster way,
Hmm.
like a hook or a clamp. Just something. Just throw it in there and yank it out, and then cut that panel off to replace it. And those are the kind of structural things you'll see in most jobs. Otherwise, I'm taking the skin off to fix the structure,
Yeah.
and then now the skin's off, you're welding on a new quarter panel or whatever, or skin, or you're changing the structure because there's no repairs allowed. That actually
Hmm.
happens a lot now.
And if you're doing like a wheel liner or something, or fixing an outer wheelhouse is what they would call it now after you pulled the skin off, something that would be really good to repair that type of stuff would be like the pliers that he was just showing, to really get that back into a shape.
Yep,
So
I agree.
Nick Van Hook asked, he said, hearing you talk about making some tools, if you've gotten used the shock blocker, which we haven't yet because Anson sold out pretty quick on that. Have you heard about the shock blocker knockdown yet, Daniel?
Yeah, yeah, it's the little spring-loaded knockdown.
Yeah. Have you
Right.
gotten
Is
it?
it
Have
the
you
same
used
one?
it at all?
It's like a floats in there. Have not? No. Mm-mm. Nope.
Okay.
Every time I go to order, it's sold out. So
Yeah.
since they
Yeah.
came out with it, I've been wanting one, but I think Jim Mitchell bought 10 of them or something. So they went out of stock.
You can blame him then.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I saw on his tool cart a while ago. He had quite a few of them on there.
Yeah.
I
He
was
had a
like,
bunch of them.
save some for the rest of us, man.
That's funny.
But yeah, I want to try it. I think it's it's a absolutely great idea. Because I'll honestly kind of use my knockdown the same way, but my fingers take the majority of the brunt right now. So yeah, what I like about it. So I'll grab my file here.
Yeah, everybody claims how nice it is.
It's a cool idea because like when I'm knocking down, I'll sometimes like it's hard to explain, but like say you've made a sketch mark in your panel on accident, and you're gonna go knock that down, but you've kind of pinched it up, So it's trying to knock down not just the little high spot, but it's trying to like knock down the whole. It's trying to like cave the whole area in. You get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And so in those situations where you just have one little high spot you're trying to knock down, and you don't want the whole thing to cave in, I'll hold it, right above the panel. So say this is the panel right here, and I'll have it like that, and then like that. And so it's actually basically shocking. It's going to shock that metal as opposed to holding it on the panel and hitting it, because
What's
it's
up,
actually going to go down and hit it. So you're essentially doing the exact same thing. You're just floating the knockdown over the panel, and when you're hitting it, it's going to take all that blow. So that's a really good idea, and I am really excited to get one as soon as they have one available. I'm going to order.
I'm
probably 10
hearing
of them
it'll
or
be
so.
soon. I'm hearing it'll be soon. We got both the
Yeah.
Dent Reaper guys
Good.
in here.
Good.
Yeah. Absolutely. They showed up.
At the same time.
Yeah. They must have been showing. They must have seen that you were showing some tools off.
Yeah.
Nothing like they're doing. This was just backyard body guy
Backyard
tools.
body work.
I don't know, man. I think you
Yeah,
should show
just-
off that curved handle again, because these tool makers, I think you got something going again with that.
The
Unless you
curved
don't
handles.
unless you don't want to show it.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't think I'm going to be making any tools anytime soon for production. I don't have the time. I'm way too busy, and
Yeah.
I don't
you
know.
might be onto something with that. If
There's too many things. I just like them personally, but I'll
Yeah.
grab one and just show you. But yeah, so a handle like this. This
You know,
is the rod that I made.
comfortable pushing position and more twisting power.
Yeah,
Mhm.
lots of twisting power, and it is nice and comfy. Obviously, it's all polished chrome, but that was the thing is, after making some of these tools, I'm like, I have way too much time into making this tool. Like, I don't think I could ever make a profit ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to sell my tools for $1,000 a piece,
Right.
I don't know. I had so much time into just coming up with just something simple like this, like very simple, but
Yeah.
It is very effective. This one works really good.
You're still
But the
reaping
curved
the
handle
benefits.
it is nice.
Yeah, I mean, at
I
the end
still
of the
get to
day,
well, yeah, I get to use it.
You get to
yeah.
use it. You get to keep it,
I
and you
get to
had
use it.
fun making it. You know,
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
did have fun making them. I actually bought like a whole I yeah, I bought like a whole bunch of stuff to start making
Oh,
tools
my neighbor
and then
Danny.
realized like I don't have time.
What's
So
up, Danny?
just make a few for myself.
Mhm.
That curved handle is genius. Call John
I don't
Vaggy
know
about
about
that.
Genius. I'm pretty sure well, maybe I haven't seen any curved handles.
I haven't. Oh, it doesn't mean they aren't out there. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
looking
Yeah,
no.
low, so
I'm sure they're out there. Well,
I
now,
haven't.
I mean, now they're gonna be everywhere, right?
Yeah, you heard it
Oh
first
my
here. Smash Masters, curved
Yeah,
handles.
Yeah.
Way to go.
yeah, I
No
want to
more
cover
T
that.
handles. Yeah, that sounds good. We all do.
Yep.
Yep, yep, yep. Well, what do you think? That was a pretty good show.
Yeah. Lots of good stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
There's always something to talk about. Tool world, whether you're talking about building, buying them, or pushing, knocking down. There's so much that goes on. So
And we could spend all night talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
People would get really bored.
I don't know, man. We've been started out with 4. Now we're up to 11. I mean, we've had people rolling in and out all night, and we've got more now. So,
yeah.
uh,
Good. That's good.
but yeah, I'm excited that people are excited about this kind of stuff because it's. I mean, that's why we're doing this. We're trying to spread the word that there are quality repair methods that are new, up and coming, and for the body shop world.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Absolutely.
even for PDR. I mean, PDR it seems like it's changing all the time. Sometimes old concepts are brought back, but it's
Yeah,
It's a
it's
good community too. You know, the collision world is, if you're new to it, it's kind of a tough crowd to kind of get into. But the PDR
for sure.
community on social as a whole has been fantastic.
true.
So
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, you gotta
like,
have a pretty thick skin nowadays going to a body shop.
Spent 4 hours on a Dent Nerd podcast. Handle
yeah,
rolling
they go
around.
a long time on there.
They do. They do. We try not to talk everybody's ears off. Uh, but yeah, yeah, that flew by for me. That was a fun conversation. I'm gonna
Yeah,
throw you in the back, Dan. It was nice to have you on. Thank you for coming on.
Hey,
yeah,
thank you
man.
guys so much. I really appreciate everything you guys are doing, and I love the podcast and big fan of
Thank
the
you.
show. So
Appreciate
really
it.
excited to keep watching and keep commenting and hoping this thing just really blows up, get lots of attention on it. So
We're hoping
yeah,
so.
very
We're
excited.
hoping so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. We'll see you in a minute. Don't go anywhere.
yeah.
Yeah. So we got
It's
one.
it's
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. I was gonna say we got we got Daniel on. We got another episode in the books, talking tools for collision and PDR again. Knocking it out, man. It's been good.
Yeah,
Been
yeah.
good. Trying to get the community together, the collision community. Helping these guys out, and yeah,
Uh,
it's doing our part, man.
to the collision people that are watching this and they're going, "Oh, should I watch the next one?" I'd say yes. We have some really exciting stuff coming.
We do. We have a really, really awesome guest who's actually been really successful in his own podcast as well. So be sure and tune in for that. You guys are going to love it.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
So, and
well,
with that, man,
you guys have a great night.
see y'all.
Bye, everybody.